Hey, what's going on guys? I'm Brett Madigan and welcome back to Mad Again. So this video series is going to be completely different to my usual content on this channel because I bought a project car. Thankfully, my project car is only a repairable write-off with hail damage, a flooded engine and flooded transmission. But I don't have the engine or transmission. Well, I have bits of the engine, but don't worry. I'll get to that later. But what car do I have? I have a 2008 Subaru Impreza WRX manual turbo. Now, I've never driven a manual or a turbo car before, so for me, this is a very interesting concept to be able to get this car working again, because I've never done anything like this before, and hopefully, if you guys have, you can point me in the right direction. I bought the cheapest Subaru Impreza WRX shell that I could find on Marketplace, completely sight unseen, for just $200 and $130 delivery. Let's take a look at what I just got myself into. I don't think I've ever felt this excited about a project I've ever done. Seeing that WRX appear before me, then be reversed into my driveway, it was definitely a mixed bag of emotions, that's for sure. However, all that excitement soon came to a close after seeing the car received as scrap. Now don't get me wrong, I knew ahead of time that the seller was putting a bunch of stuff for the car in there. I was totally unprepared for the sheer volume of stuff that was being crammed into such a small car. So this is why the car stinks really bad. So I'm not too sure what the story of this car is, but I know it was flooded. But I don't know why the guy I bought it from, right, did this. I don't know why he shoved a whole bunch of leaves in there. You know? Or like, whatever the hell that shit is. But yeah, basically, my objective today is to clean all this shit out. Oh, alright, let's get to it. This is what the boot looks like with the sound deadening removed. Obviously, I'm going to clean it up with some degreaser or brake cleaner or something like that, but it's looking pretty nice so far. Finally got around to getting some of the rear trim. Went to put my full-size spare in and noticed that it is not going to fit. Yeah, don't worry about all that. I don't even know if that's where that goes, but it sort of fits. Where's the other one gone? Okay, that goes there. Cool. And now to put this trim piece in and this trim piece in. Alright. And then obviously I'll get the bracket for the seat in, and hopefully that'll be it. And the rear seats will be in, and the side bits of the trim will be in. Then I gotta see what else I'm missing, because I feel like I'm missing a bunch of other things. Like this side piece is part of that trim, so that shouldn't be a problem. But I'm missing the top sections. I don't know if any of you guys have looked for trim pieces, but some wreckers want ridiculous amount of money for that shit. One wrecker wanted $350 for literally 1, 2, 3 bits of trim and the brackets for the rear seats. What the fuck is wrong with you? And then another one wanted $50 for those trim pieces. But then when I asked him today, he said he wanted $150. So yeah, that's what I deal with. So let's get the rest of the trim pieces in. Hopefully I can do that with the seats in there. I don't think I can. Alright. Ow, fuck. Alright, finally got the side trims in. And I also got the rear seats in. Thank fuck for that. As you can see, they're in nice and good. Next step sound deaden the floor, and then put the carpet in. I just wanted to say that I didn't come up with this sort of method. I just wanted to show you guys or explain the method that I used to remove the sound deadening for the car. And that was getting a spray of freeze spray. Now, you might have that labeled as something else in your own country, but that's what it's called here. Or you can just get an aerosol can and hold it upside down. It does the exact same thing. So basically, the spray just makes, or just, I don't know what it does, but it comes out incredibly cold and makes it a lot easier to remove the sound deadening. It basically breaks down that bond between the sound deadening glue from the sound deadening itself and the body of the car. So yeah, just be careful. This stuff, any aerosol can or this freeze spray stuff in an enclosed area is very, very toxic and very dangerous. So just be careful if you do try this method. I just wanted to outline that. It's easier, but it is very dangerous. So far, the only damage that I've seen on the interior of the car is most likely due to a forklift picking up the car. So crossing my fingers I don't see anything else. Alright, so today I'm going to be putting sound deadening in the sort of passenger and driver's footwells. Well, I don't know what you call this part, but down here, all across there, down in the passenger's bit, and underneath this part here. I don't know whether or not I'm getting rid of the factory sound deadening in the driver's footwell as well as the passenger footwell, but it is pretty disgusting over there in the passenger side. But yeah, I might just clean it up and see what it looks like, because honestly, I don't want to get rid of these plastic things, because I've tried at a wrecker and I have no idea how to get them out without like completely brute forcing that shit and potentially breaking them. So I'm going to avoid doing that today. But yeah, that's the plan. I won't be recording the whole process, because basically just clean the area, put the sound deadening down and roll it, and it's done. So yeah, I'll show you what it looks like afterwards and what that side looks like afterwards as well. So this is the sound deadening that I've applied so far. The passenger side isn't complete just yet because I ran out of sound deadening, and I decided to pull up the factory sound deadening at the front there because it was utterly disgusting and I didn't want to deal with it anymore. So putting some new stuff down will fix that. The driver's side is relatively complete. I did keep the factory sound deadening at the front because it was in pretty good condition still and wasn't sort of covered in grime and grossness. So yeah, I just got to cover up the seams with the tape stuff, and the sound deadening is almost complete. Obviously, that side needs work, but I'll get that done sometime next week. But yeah, on to other things. Let's do it. Okay, so my goal today is to figure out what the condition is of the replacement engine block, because the original engine block is totally cactus to the point where there is so much damage, it is not repairable. There's a fly in the lens, so if it's moving around, I apologize. So yeah, figure out what the condition is like, show you guys what the heads are like, and show you guys what the original engine block is like. And yeah, we'll go from there. And then after all that, I have to disassemble this block and see if there's any internal damage. So yeah, long process. Anyway, let's do it. Oh, so this engine block has definitely seen better days. Now, at first glance, I have no idea what I'm looking at. I don't know what all this dirt at the front of the engine is. Could be a leaky main seal. I don't know. But the rods and the sleeves are just very scored. So obviously, or, you know, it's just totally stuffed, really. But it gives me a good insight as to what actually happened in this engine. And when an engine explodes or a piston or a rod gives way, what sort of damage actually happens on the inside. Bloop. I learned the hard way that some of these bolts don't really want to come out. That there, this engine block ain't being used. Originally I was thinking, oh, maybe I could re-sleeve it, but nope. That's kaput. For the past 3 or 4 days, I've been trying to open this block to the point where I just gave up for a couple of days, but finally it's open and ready to split and to check out what the internals of the block actually looks like. So I'm hoping that this block here is a little bit better, but the only way to check is to split it open and get all the pistons and rods out the way, as well as the crank, to check the bearings and to check to see if there's any chunks of metal, which I've already kind of seen some. So I'm hoping that that's just rod damage and not actual bore damage, because that means I gotta look for another block and I don't really want to do that. So let's get cracking, shall we? Alrighty, so let's see if I can just sort of pry it upwards. There we go. Oh yeah, that's what I like to see, ladies and gentlemen. Oh god. Okay, so there we go. Yes! Block is separated. Finally. Okay. So let me just try and get this on here. Okay. Ooh, there's a little bit of scoring, but nothing too bad. That would have been from one of the rods. The bearings look pretty worn. Let me just bring you over here a little bit so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay. So I'm just going to use my phone actually, because I don't think you can actually see any of this, but let me just get in there. Okay, so the damage that I was talking about is this damage right here, which looks like a little bit of scoring from a rod. And these bearings look very worn, especially compared to my other ones. I might be able to reuse these, but it's probably not a good idea. Let's just check to see if there's any internal damage here. No, doesn't look like it. Looks good. Looks good. Oh, there's a bit of scoring on the inside here of the crank. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, because there's a bit of a lip here, but then there's something going on there. So yeah, I don't know anything about this engine block besides the fact that it looks like it was starved for oil for a very long time, because there's a lot of scoring marks. There would have been, I don't know, I think that means that there was combustion in there, or because that is kind of black. It shouldn't be like that, especially on this side. Ow. There's a lot of smuts on this side. I'm thinking that that means that it was burning oil. I could be wrong there. That's just my assumption. I've got no idea. But if you guys know what that means, please leave it in the comments below. But yeah, these rods look very brown compared to the other engine blocks rods. Let me just see if I can figure out which one was the loose rod. Give me a sec. So that one's a bit loose. So that looks like it's got no play. That one's got a bit of play. That one's got a bit of play, and so does that one. So again, I quite honestly have no idea what I'm looking at, realistically. Yeah, as you can see, this is the good cylinder head. Well, good cylinder head. It doesn't look too bad, besides it being incredibly black and there's like a lot of carbon buildup. But yeah, it doesn't really look too bad. Obviously, I don't actually know what this smuts would have been caused by. Maybe, I don't know, burning oil or oil starvation or something. I'm not entirely sure. But it is closed deck, which is cool. And no bent valves by the look of it on this side. Awesome. Oh yeah, I forgot to actually show you the damaged head. Now I could get this one fixed, but it wasn't worth it. The guy quoted me like $450 or $600. I forget what it was, but yeah, it's out of the question. There you go. In the scrap it goes. But so far, I haven't actually spent that much. In terms of the total cost for this specific episode, I didn't include, the sound deadening or anything like that, but it has been $454 Australian, which I thought was pretty good. But yeah, anyway, this is it for the first episode. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.